Support comes from Dean Heating and Cooling, keeping homes cool all summer with Tempstar. Dean Heating and Cooling provides HVAC service and installation in the Athens area, featuring Tempstar quality you can feel. Additional support from Donato's Pizza, featuring pizza, subs, salads, and catering from their Athens location at 688 East State Street. Information at donatospizza.com or 740-592-5049. Support comes from Ohio's 529 College Advantage, helping families save tax-free for college and career training nationwide for 35 years. Information on Ohio's 529 can be found at collegeadvantage.com/Bobcats. Support comes from the O'Neill Hartman Insurance Agency, a local Erie insurance agent serving southeastern Ohio, providing professional service to individuals and businesses. Information at o'neillhartman.com.
What's going on, everybody? Hard to believe we're here already, but welcome to the Gridiron Glory Season 26 finale. We've got a packed house tonight with a couple of our Player of the Year candidates, their families, and our staff in attendance. Thank you all for coming along for the ride tonight. I'm your host, Donovan Varney. All season long, we've watched Titans of Southeast Ohio football rise and fall. We've even seen some of the best coaches and players take the field, so tonight we'll crown one of each with our Coach of the Year and Player of the Year awards. Not only that, but it's regional finals week, and we've still got 2 football games to cover. So we'll give you the scoop on the final games from regions 15 and 19, recaps from all 12 conferences, our all GG teams, and like I mentioned, our Coach of the Year and Player of the Year winners. But we'll kick things off with a look at the SOC2. This year we saw some new teams emerge as contenders, and reporter Andrew Woods has more.
This year, teams across the SOC2 had exciting and historic seasons. That parade of history starts with conference champion Wheelersburg. The Pirates claimed their 3rd straight SOC2 crown on their way to their first perfect regular season since 2017. 3 teams tied for 2nd place: Valley, Northwest, and Portsmouth West. Valley took major steps forward this season, returning to the playoffs and recording their best record since 2015. Northwest also made major improvements this season, posting their best record since moving to the SOC2. Portsmouth West also had a solid season, finishing 2nd in the conference for the 3rd straight year. The SOC2 also had a 3-way tie for 5th between Minford, Oak Hill, and Waverly. This year, Minford had their highest conference finish since 2022, while Oak Hill won their first SOC2 game since 2020. Finally, although Waverly finished with a 1-9 record, the Tigers showed improvement throughout the season and will try to turn some close losses into wins next year.
And out of the SOC2 comes our first big reveal of the night. Our Season 26 Coach of the Year is Wheelersburg's very own Rob Woodward. Since they were busy playing a game tonight, I caught up with the 18th year head coach earlier this week to congratulate him on the award. To start, I just want to congratulate you on winning our Gridiron Glory Season 26 Coach of the Year. So I guess how does it feel to be our award winner this year?
Well, it feels great anytime we get recognized, but like I always say, really it's our staff that is winning the award, because I got so many guys that I count on in so many different positions. They help control everything. I just happen to be the guy that talks the most, so they put me out front.
You are now the winningest coach in Wheelersburg history, even more than the great Ed Miller. What kind of special honor is that for you?
I mean, the legacy that the winning culture that he instilled at Wheelersburg years ago. I've always said it in interviews that it's a fire, a spark that was ignited by him and his wife Dart, and it's continued to burn throughout Wheelersburg, and we're just trying to keep it burning. Maybe pour some gas on it and get it to rage a little more in terms of just the overall love of the game, love of football, love of being a Wheelersburg Pirate.
This is your guys' first undefeated season since 2017. We all know how 2017 season ended. How much is a state championship on your mind right now?
we stay schedule-oriented, routine-oriented, in how we develop and work towards the next week's opponent, and how we apply things on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and ultimately that's what leads to the success built on Friday. And really Saturday, Sunday incorporated with that as well. So, you know, here we are in 13th game, week 14. Working towards the goals that we have at hand, and we're just taking it one step at a time.
Yeah, and you're one of the few coaches that still gets to play and coach some football this week. So what's kind of been the message for your guys heading into the regional final?
Just keeping it fun. Football is fun. We often say that you know, around here, and making sure that we're maintaining a sense of fun for these kids, and how can they develop and learn and be the best student athletes that they can, but have fun at the same time.
Yeah, I just want to thank you again for letting us come by. Congratulations on winning the award, and good luck this week.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Go Birds.
Congrats to Coach Woodward. Tonight, he and his Pirates traveled to Hamilton Township to take on one of our other Coach of the Year candidates, Rusty Richards and the Nelsonville York Buckeyes. A trip to the state semifinals were on the line, so reporters Ty Carpenter and Jack Zwizinski join us with what went down.
Yeah, two impressive coaches. We were bound for a good one tonight.
And these resumes are on another level. Both these teams have dominated start to finish. It's crazy how really similar these numbers are. Check them out on your screen. I mean, it feels like I'm looking in a mirror. Basically the same points per game and points per game allowed.
Yeah, and those defensive stats are eerily similar too. Berg with just 2 more interceptions, but NY with 2 more forced fumbles. They also have the edge in sacks on the year with 28. And taking that sack number for a second, I want you to remember the Buckeyes' Caleb Layton accounts for 18 of them. He's been a game wrecker.
Yeah, these teams have similar stats, but how they rack them up, well, it's pretty different. Berg, hard to believe when they're this dominant, but no player has more than 6 sacks on the team. Everyone's bringing pressure. You got a game plan for this entire D-line. But let's just get right into this game. Usually Hamilton Township's house, but this time it's Wheelersburg's for the regional final. Let's start it off quick. Rucker with the handoff to Elijah Brown. Wide open space in front of him, stepping out of the tackle, getting to the sideline. It's looking like he's gone, but officials say he stepped out early. But hey, great field position for the Pirates to set them up in that red zone.
Using that field position, Braylon Rucker keeps it himself and fights his way in to put Berg on the board first. 7-0 on the opening drive. This time it's NY's turn. Cam Sullivan takes a deep drop back and finds Walker Stone in the weak spot of the zone, who takes it and cuts outside through some contact and is downed on the 9. And you can see him signal that that's a first down.
But hold on for a sec, Jack. I want to wait because now it's going to be 4th down for NY. Cam Sullivan passed to Holden Hodgson, but tipped by Hunter Henderson. How's that for a play and a turnover on downs? And these Pirates took advantage. Drive down the field, capped off by a touchdown run by Elijah Brown. Up to scores now 14-0.
Speaking of Elijah Brown, Ty, how about this defense? Cam Sullivan fires and it's tipped, caught by Brown. Berg is set up to take in the red zone. And you got to finish out with another 6 to go up 21-0. Berg goes on to win 41-0, winning their first regional title since 2018. And they got it in a dominant way against a really strong opponent.
Yeah, they've just been on a roll. Something's been clicking, obviously.
I mean, no kidding, and really, they are looking unstoppable. And I feel like it's been the story all year. It's because of that defense, Jack.
No kidding. They suffocated the run all game. Hard to do against a guy like Austin Gautier, and once Berg pulled ahead, it seemed like there was no coming back.
For sure, and those conditions were rough out there, and when you're forced to pass, it's not a great combination. Berg's pass rush dominated. The defense got the offense into great field position. Points followed. Just a great night all around. But I do want to talk about this guy right here, Elijah Brown. He set himself up for a great night tonight.
Yeah, of course. He had those 2 first-half touchdowns, ripping off great run after great run. Really just seemed like nobody could tackle him.
And that's just on one side of the ball. Don't forget that tipped interception he grabbed. That led to his 2nd touchdown of the night. Big game, big plays, and that's the kind of player you want going to the Final Four. So what a night for him and for Berg.
Yeah, for sure, but let's also recognize how great of a season it's been for these Buckeyes.
Of course, 12 wins, but focus now shifting to next year, and they see some serious contributors leave. You got running back Austin Gautier and receiver Alec Thompson, not to mention Caleb Layton, who ran that defense.
Yeah, they're losing some big-time names, but like always, somebody's got to step up, right?
You can count on quarterback Cam Sullivan and running back Walker Stone. He was in the air and on the ground. Even with the loss, they're set up for the future. And after such a dominant season, it's hard not to look forward to next year.
Yeah, pretty impressive this year, and of course, you also get to look forward to Berg in the Final Four.
Yeah, lots to be proud of for sure. Thank you, guys. Make sure you head to our socials for additional content from the games tonight, and stay tuned after this week as we continue to cover our 7-4-0 teams that advance to the state semis. Throughout the year, you all have been voting for which team has the best fan base, and lucky for you all, we've finally got an answer for you. It's between Wheelersburg and Jackson for our Fan Base Frenzy winner. Both fan bases are known for making their presence felt each week. Berg with their cannons and jugs at home games, and Jackson with their passionate fans. Don't worry, we see your Facebook comments, but jokes aside, only one team can take home the award. And for the past few weeks, you guys have been taking your pick. Voting ended over 24 hours ago, so I think it's time we reveal our winner. Thanks, Sophia. This year's Fan Base Frenzy winner goes to your Region 19 champions, the Wheelersburg Pirates. Congratulations to Berg, and thank you all at home for voting and participating this year. The SOC 1 hasn't been super competitive over the last 2 seasons, but this year it was a race until the very end. Will DeBlock joins us with what 2025 looked like for our teams in the SOC 1.
Thanks, Donovan. Only one of the teams in the conference finished above 500 last season, but this year, 4 of those teams made 6 or 7 more wins, made the playoffs. The SOC 1 was hotly contested, come down to the final 2 weeks of the season, and the conference has never looked better.
And taking the top of the conference are the Eastern Eagles. The Eagles went 10-0 and coasted through conference play, defeating SOC 1 teams by an average of 37 points per game. They do graduate players like Eric Manley Jr., but Eastern still sticks strongly at the top. And if we were a tie for second place, we have Sims Valley, Notre Dame, and South Gallia. Sims Valley impressed at 8-2 with a younger squad led by sophomore quarterback Bronx Carpenter. And with only 2 players graduating, they will be strong contenders again next year. Notre Dame also surprised, as with a new head coach and an injury to their starting quarterback in week 1, this team had lower expectations. But thanks to players like Luke Cassidy, the Titans started 7-0. 2 losses to Eastern, and Sims Valley kept them at second in the SOC 1. South Gallia managed to tie for second place after a Week 10 victory against Sims Valley. The Rebels put up a 7-3 record and their best offense in team history. And in 5th and 6th place, it's East and Green. East finished 1-8. Their only win coming against Green. Green went on to finish 0-9.
Well, another year, another conference title for the Eastern Eagles in the SOC 1. Leading the charge for the Orange and Brown this season was none other than their quarterback, Eric Manley Jr. Josh Herner joins us now. And Josh, you wouldn't know it, but this kid was only been playing football for a couple years.
Yeah, Donovan, he's only had 2 years at the quarterback position, but the senior QB balled out in his time as a starter. So let's introduce our first Player of the Year candidate. And joining me now is the QB of the Eastern Eagles, Eric Manley Jr. Eric, thank you so much for being here, and appreciate you coming. So let's start with this. How does it feel to be a finalist for this award?
It feels amazing.
Yeah.
To be notarized in such a small school with all the bigger competition and players that I'm going up against. It feels great.
Yeah, absolutely. And this was your senior season, obviously a very important year for you. What has this year meant to you?
It's meant everything. I mean, I've never grinded hard in my life in the off season and trying to show everybody around here that I could really play. And I feel like I showed that.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of great moments for you this season. Is there anyone that sticks out necessarily?
Conference-wise, like South Gallia. I mean, 10 touchdowns in a game, that's amazing. That conference opponent that took us down to the wire. Huntington, 1 touchdown game. Menford, 1 touchdown game. Like, it was a battle challenge before.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of great moments for you in this senior season, and you had that record-breaking performance in Week 10 against South Gallia. How does it feel to now be in the state record books?
That's great. I've never done anything like that, and it's really a big accomplishment, especially for someone down here in Southern Ohio where football is not necessarily as prioritized as up north, and I feel like I'm putting on a good show for the people down south.
Yeah, absolutely. And you never lost a regular season game in your career. What has all the team success meant to you?
I mean, it's a brotherhood. Everybody buying in, going down in these games like Huntington, going down in 11 seconds to score, like feeling like you have to do it for not only yourself but your brothers beside you and the fans in the stands to keep it going. Let's keep the streak going.
Yeah, absolutely. Eric, thank you so much again for being here tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right, well, alongside Eric this year, there have been some guys on these offenses that have made defenders pay all year long. Here's a look at each of the players that made this year's All-GG offense.
Starting off All-GG lineup is quarterback Eric Manley Jr. from the Eastern Eagles. Manley had a total of 2,243 yards with 30 touchdown passes. He had a completion rate of 67% and only 2 turnovers. Manley was named First Team All-SOC and also named Division VII Offensive District Player of the Year.
The other quarterback on the list is junior Brayson Hill out of Crooksville. He ended the season with over 1,600 total yards and 24 touchdowns. Hill's signature performance came against Meadowbrook when he rushed for a school record 347 yards and scored the game-winning touchdown in the Ceramics' first conference win in 5 years.
The first of our All-GG backs is Carte Ligon of the Chillicothe Cavaliers. The sophomore rushed for 2,262 yards to go along with 27 touchdowns on the ground. Ligon was also named the FAC Player of the Year and the Division III District Offensive Player of the Year.
Next on the All-GG running back list is Julian Baker. He had over 1,700 rushing yards and broke Miami Trace's single-season rushing yards record. Baker is your go-to man with 26 TDs in 9 regular season games and a little over 2,000 all-purpose yards.
Next on the All-GG second team is the OVC's MVP running back, Kane Murphy, with just shy of 1,900 rushing yards, over 2,000 all-purpose yards, and 28 total touchdowns. He is the heart of the conference champions Coal Grove Hornets rushing attack and their offense as a whole.
Speaking of great running backs, let's talk about Tri-Valley's Levi Wade. The sophomore's had a school record-breaking 35 rushing touchdowns this season, also breaking the record for total rushing yards at 2,273. He's also the first Tri-Valley player to ever exceed 2,000 yards in one season.
Our first wide receiver on the list is Washington Jr. Aiden Osborne. He led the Blue Lions with 1,304 receiving yards, the 5th most in Ohio, and caught 16 touchdowns. His efforts this season earned him First Team All-Conference in the FAC.
Joining Aiden Osborne at the receiver position on our All-GG lineup is Eastern Junior Boston Webb. Last month, Webb set a state record after catching 7 touchdowns in a game. If that's not enough for recognition, Webb obtained 1,200 receiving yards and 20 touchdowns this season alone.
Going from running and catching, we have TJ Blair from SCA, who has more than doubled his yards from last season, carrying plenty of weight for the Knights. With his deep threat ability, shiftiness, and all-around athleticism, Blair racked up 67 receptions, 1,757 all-purpose yards, and touched paint 20 times.
Up next is Sims Valley sophomore Jackson Fields. He snagged the ball 49 times, totaled 966 yards, and found pay dirt 12 times through the air this season. He led the way for the Vikings pass attack, and it was an easy All-SOC1 first-team selection.
Next in order is tight end Brady Doss, who played a huge role for Wheelersburg this year. He led the team in both receiving yards and receiving touchdowns with 419 yards and 6 touchdowns. He was named to the Division V First Team All-District.
Rounding out our tight end room is Malachi Enzor of the Belpre Golden Eagles. The junior had a bright season for Belpre with 33 catches for 519 yards and 6 touchdowns. And with his senior season ahead of him, he will definitely be looking to make more impacts for the Golden Eagles next season.
Our next offensive player on our list is Miami Trace senior Adam Guthrie. Guthrie was dominant in the trenches this year, accumulating 126 pancake blocks and didn't allow a single sack all year. Guthrie made all first-team FAC and first-team All-District. Guthrie is also a 2-time Player of the Year finalist for Gridiron Glory.
Joining the All-GG linemen, we have 6'4", 280-pound junior Eli Stevens from New Lexington. He was named to the D4 Southeast District First Team Offense for the 2025 season. Stevens uses his height to dominate the line and push defenders back.
For our next All-GG selection, we'll look at another strong offensive lineman who's been protecting the Jackson backfield all season, Jacob Allen. Allen is a first-team FAC selection, has also been Southeast Ohio District Lineman of the Year 3 years in a row, and he helped the Ironmen average an impressive 183 rushing yards per game.
Behind Guthrie is senior Cole Smith, another powerful presence on the offensive line. An all-district first-team selection for Division V, Smith bullies pass rushers and plays downhill in the run game. His impact helped Megs average 26.7 points per game this season.
Rounding out the O-line, we have Connor Rutherford from Chillicothe. Rutherford was an anchor at left tackle for the Cavaliers. He dominated opposing defenses with 65 pancakes this season, helping him land on first-team All-FAC as a junior.
Following Rutherford, we have 6'2", 295-pound offensive lineman Brewer Tomlinson from Eastern. For the 3rd year in a row, Tomlinson was named D7 Southeast District Lineman of the Year and First Team Offense. Tomlinson is a strong force on the line for the Eagles.
Next up is Eastern senior offensive lineman Matt Markham. The guard was listed on the All-GG preseason team, and he clearly lived up to the hype, anchoring an offense that produced over 1,400 yards on the ground, and he scored 2 touchdowns himself. Who says playing offensive line isn't a skill position?
After Markham is 6'5", 285-pound senior offensive lineman Will Odenthal from Nelsonville, York. Odenthal has played a pivotal role in the Buckeyes' undefeated season and was named to the TVC Ohio All-Conference team. Buckeyes rushing attack reached over 3,000 yards, nearly 2,000 yards over the national average.
Next up is New Lexington senior Tristan Braden. At 6'1" and 235 pounds, Braden was named Offensive Lineman of the Year and was awarded First Team Offense Division 4. Braden has been a key player for the Panthers, helping the team to reach regional finals this year.
Another standout offensive lineman is Wheelersburg's Ryan Meeker. Meeker earned the Division 5 Lineman of the Year award and finished first team All-District. Meeker anchored the Pirates' front line that dominated the run game and rushed for nearly 1,800 yards on the ground this season.
Our first of 2 utility athletes honored is Jackson wide receiver Ryan Simons. The senior was effective through the air and on the ground, going for 448 yards as a pass catcher and 710 yards as a ball carrier. His stellar stat line also included 21 total touchdowns, good enough for first-team All-FAC and first-team All-District honors.
Hailing from Notre Dame, our next All-GG player is senior Luke Cassidy. Luke has had an impressive season with over 1,900 total yards, 34 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. He stepped up as QB during Week 1 and has been contributing all over the field for the Titans.
Cooper Heimbach is the kicker and punter for the Wheelersburg Pirates. He's gone 11 for 13 in field goals this season, with his record being 53 yards. He's also gone 47 for 49 in PATs. His leg power and his accuracy has made him a reliable factor and a safety valve for the Berg this season.
And to round out our All-GG team, we have Valley kicker Jalen Bender. He's been reliable this year for the Indians, hitting 94% of his extra points. He also has an absolute boot with his longest kick this year being 45 yards after setting the school record last year with a 47-yard kick.
Well, we move over to the FAC, which has been largely dominated by Jackson since the conference's inception back in 2017. This year, much of the same, but things were a lot closer than expected. Grant Kiefer is our FAC guy, and he's here to look at how the conference wrapped up.
Got 2 words for you. Unlike Charles Barkley, bounce back. Last year, just 2 teams made the playoffs. This year, 5 out of 6 teams made it. Your side of the conference stacked up.
Finishing in first place for the 5th straight season is none other than the Jackson Ironmen. Jackson faced some adversity in the non-conference, but rattled off 5 straight in conference play to extend its conference win streak to 25 games over the last 5 seasons. Truly unheard of dominance. Finishing in second is Miami Trace, who had their best season in 20 years. The Panthers won their first 8 games of the season before falling to Jackson in Week 9, but still finished with a 9-1 mark in the regular season behind Julian Baker's dominant school record rushing season. Coming in at third are the Chillicothe Cavaliers, and what a bounce-back season it was. TJ Carper, in his first season at the helm, got the Cavs back to the playoffs for the first time since 2022. Washington Courthouse came in 4th, and the Blue Lions bounced back with head coach Chuck Williamson returning to the program. Sam Pfeiffer and Aiden Osborne is a duo you won't want to miss next season. Coming in at 5th are the Hillsboro Indians, who had just 1 conference win. It was over their rival McLean. McLean Tigers finished in last. They return a lot next season. Keep an eye out for this whole conference in 2026.
Well, Grant, our 2 Player of the Year candidates that happened to be teammates couldn't make it tonight, but you caught up with them earlier this week.
Yeah, I mean, the FAC, not only did they put on in terms of their teams and their production, so did its players. I caught up with Miami Trace's Julian Baker and Adam Guthrie to talk about their season.
Julian Baker.
All right, not often you get 2 teammates in the top 5 Player of the Year finalists list, but I've got junior Julian Baker and I've got senior Adam Guthrie here. It's also not often you have a player on this list 2 seasons in a row. That's the reality for you, Adam. But just take me through just what exactly you improved on to maintain your success.
I think just getting stronger from last year, more athletic, and just being smarter for football player, definitely.
Julie, how easier is your life when you're running behind a guy like that and just on your whole offensive line in general?
Yeah, it's so much easier when they're all dogs and want to get better every day. So, yeah, Pretty easy.
Julian, record-breaking year for you, and you missed the regular season game, yet still set the school's single-season rushing yards record. Just how special is that now that even with one more year left, you're already in the Miami Trace record books forever?
Yeah, it means a lot. It's big. Being the record leader at Miami Trace, it's nice. I like it.
I bet you, I would like it too if I held a record like that. All right, we're going to go ahead and end this off. What would it mean to win this award for either of you guys?
It mean a lot, especially being offensive lineman. Obviously don't see that a lot, but I think just both of us being up here shows how hard we worked, how great we can be. Yeah, I think it means a lot. It means it all to me. Yeah, it'd be huge. How hard we all work and try to be our best every day, so it'll mean a lot.
Pretty special pair of Miami Trace teammates right there. Let's go ahead and send it back to the studio.
Well, congrats to those two finalists, but another year, another classic season for the TVC Ohio now, okay? The race came down to the top two teams in the Week 10 battle between Athens and Nelsonville York, and the Buckeyes came out on top for the second year in a row, and my man Connor Mallon is here to give you guys a rundown.
Once again, Donovan, we saw a TVC Ohio season defined by some of the toughest defenses and that classic ground and pound offense. And I mean, from top to bottom, these teams prove that it just means more. So let's take a look around the TVC Ohio for the 2025 season.
The top of the TVC Ohio remained the same this season, with Athens and Nelsonville York securing top spots, while the Wellston Golden Rockets, River Valley Raiders, and Alexander Spartans round out the bottom of the standings below 500. The Vinton County Vikings split their conference games 3-3, and the Megs Marauders wrapped their season 4-2, dropping their games to the teams at the top. Athens and Nelsonville York clashed in our Week 10 Game of the Week for the title of TVC champion, and the Buckeyes would take that matchup 27-12 over the Bulldogs for back-to-back TVC Ohio titles. Athens fell to 9-1 and would drop their first-round playoff game to Buckeye Valley, while Nelsonville York took their undefeated season to the playoffs, beating out their first two playoff matchups, the Union Local Jets and Columbus Academy Vikings. Their season comes to a close in the Region 19 finals against the number 1 seeded Wheelersburg Pirates, capping off a truly historic run for the TVC champions.
Well, this year in the TVC Hawking, a familiar team made their return to the conference, and the legendary Phil Fairs announced his retirement from Trimble. A lot went down this year, and Landon Aveen joins us for a deeper dive.
Thanks, Donovan. The 2025 season marked a full 6-team conference as Federal Hawking made their return. But as for the top of the conference, we would end up seeing a rerun of the standings from last year, as well as playoff wins from both Trimble and Waterford.
Starting off with our repeat champions from last year, the Waterford Wildcats. They would finish with an undefeated record in the conference and would make it all the way to the Region 27 semifinals before losing to Danville. In second place, we have the Eastern Eagles. They would finish with 6 wins on the year and sneak into Region 23 before losing their first round game to Colonel Crawford. Finishing off in third, we have the Trimble Tomcats. Trimble would have a repeat of last year, finishing 7-5. We saw a big upset from the Tomcats against South Gallia in the playoffs, after they would fall short in the quarterfinals to Sims Valley. The Southern Tornadoes would find themselves in 4th place, cashing in 2 conference wins for the first time since 2022. 5th in the conference would be the Belpre Golden Eagles. While it may not have been the best year, this would be the first time they would win a conference game since 2021. And in 6th, we have the Federal Hawking Lancers. This is their first year back in the TVC Hawking. Although they did not pick up a conference win, they did notch one against Green.
Our next Player of the Year candidate could be the first to ever win the award out of Chillicothe High School, and that'd be sophomore running back Carte Ligon. This kid is a walking highlight reel. I've seen it, and so has Stephen Caroli. He joins us with more on Carte.
Yeah, this year, the tailback has totaled more than 2,500 all-purpose yards, 27 touchdowns. He's the FAC Player of the Year, and oh yeah, he's just a sophomore. Chillicothe's Carte Ligon.
All right, some unreal numbers that you just heard. And Stephen, why don't you go a little more into Carte?
Yeah, and before we get into it, just keep in mind that Carte wasn't named the starting rusher until week 3. Now, Ligon averaged more than 200 yards a game, and that includes a 35-16 win over Western Brown, where Carte put up video game numbers. Ligon accounted for all 35 points, scored 5 touchdowns for the Cavaliers, and rushed for a school record 420 yards. Just insane. Ligon is as dynamic as a rusher comes. He can bulldoze through contact, tiptoe past defenders, and always finds pay dirt. His combination of speed and patience is deadly. Carte has all of the talent needed for an elite rusher, but what will take Ligon to unseen heights is his demeanor and character. Chillicothe head coach TJ Carper told us earlier this year that Carte is humble and hungry. He asks questions, and he shows that he wants to work in practice. His incredible play and leadership also led to change in Chillicothe, winning change. In 2023 and 2024, the Cavaliers won a combined 3 games. This year, Ligon helped lead Chillicothe to double that, 6 wins and a playoff berth. Carper also mentioned how Ligon has the it factor, and I would say that may be the perfect way to describe 1-8. With 2 more years left in high school, the sky truly is the limit for the young man. Get used to the name Carte Ligon because you'll be hearing it a lot. It certainly won't be the last.
Yeah, congrats to Carte for being a finalist, and thank you, Stephen, for the breakdown. Well, my absolute favorite part of each week is getting to spend some time with you guys, the fans. We've taken our best moments from all of our Fan of the Week segments to bring you this year's Fan of the Year Reel.
Is it the Generals? Is it the Red Rage?
We are the Generals, but we got the Red Rage.
Yeah. Oh, so it's like a disease.
We bring it. Yeah.
Okay. All right, man. You got it bad. Oh.
Yeah, that was it.
Wheeler's Bird! Let's go Bird! Ah! I hear we got to talk to you. Who am I here with?
You're not with the law, are you? I mean, if you guys, because my warrants are still out. I don't want to get tossed into pokey.
I
can't say that.
Answer the question! Get rowdy, get tough. Get rowdy, get tough.
There's no place like Gloucester. Sounds like something good just happened. What do you think it was?
Baby powder.
Give me a little note. What's more fun than rolling down the hill?
Disney World. Yeah.
What's it going to take for you to get your shoulder pads on and get out there to play?
Nothing. I'm only 10. I can't be in high school. I'm going to get killed out there.
Bazinga.
How we feeling, Jackson? Not much to say. Okay. All right, moving on to the NVL Small. In the Small this season, we saw New Lexington take their 2nd straight conference title. West Muskingum fall just short after a late season push in a 3-way tie for 3rd. Isabel Isco joins us now with some more.
In the Small, we had new faces not just on the field, but on the sidelines with Crooksville's new head coach. And like you said, New Lex that dominated last year with key seniors. They had new guys fill in their spots and had an even better record this year, going 5-0.
To start us off, the 5-0 New Lexington Panthers, who are still on their playoff run, they went undefeated in the conference and beat their opponent by an average of 37 points, thanks to their team being full of consistent heavy hitters. This is their 2nd win in a row and the 3rd small win for them since the conference split into 2 divisions in 2020. The 2nd place spot goes to the West Muskingum Tornadoes. 5-5 on the year, the Tornadoes went 3-2 in conference play. They clinched the 2nd place spot in Week 10 after beating Meadowbrook. Next, we have a 3-way tie for 3rd with Crooksville, Maysville, and Meadowbrook. The Ceramics' new head coach, Marcus Pardon-Dudash, led them to go 5-5 on the year and 3-2 in conference play after a winless small season last year. Maysville would go 5-5 on the year, and to round out the tie, the Meadowbrook Colts would go 4-6. And lastly, Coshocton, they would go without a conference win this year and go 2-8 on the season.
Well, the conference champs still had some football to play tonight. New Lex took on Indian Valley after losing to them in the regional semis last year, and Kevin Board and his team are excited for another crack at the state champs tonight.
This is one step further than we were a year ago. We're getting now to week 14. Winner moving on to state semis.
We're really looking forward to that game because, we want to go back and win that. That's something we regret last year's not playing it great in the regional semis.
Anytime those big games, I love those big games. Anytime we get to see a team like that, especially a player like Grady Kinsey, it gets us better.
Hey, come back to work on Monday, ready to go beat him. I beat it, Valley. 3, 1, 2, 3. Beat it, Valley.
And Andrew Bowlby is joining us now to go through this long-awaited Region 15 rematch.
Yeah, Donovan, really all season long. It's felt like New Lex has been building to this moment, a 9-1 regular season, the #1 seed, and now the rematch with Indian Valley. And when you go back to last year, these two teams met in the regional semifinal, and what a start New Lex got off to in this game. You'll see the pass by Isaiah Stevens to Bentley Hansen for the long score to get things going. But while the Panthers got off to a hot start from there, it was all about Grady Kinsey. He ended up with under 160 yards in the game, but 5 touchdowns, and he took Indian Valley to the regional final and eventually a state title. And when you look at the career numbers for Kinsey, I mean, you can make the case he is the best running back in Ohio high school history. He broke the all-time rushing touchdown record last week with 6 against Jonathan Alder.
Yeah, but this year it's not going to be easy against this Panthers defense.
No, it won't. I mean, this is an improved front seven, an improved defense as a whole. They have stopped the run better this season, and they are much tougher to score on. And we now take you out to Stewart Field, the same stadium as last year's meeting, and the rain was falling all night long, which made things challenging for both. First Indian Valley drive, and the Braves get Grady Kinsey involved in the passing game as he catches the ball around midfield and then takes it all the way down inside the 10 before finally being brought down. And on the next play, Kinsey breaks the all-time Ohio high school touchdown record with 134, 7-0 Braves. New Lex possession, and Paul Stenson took over this drive, getting the Panthers to goal-to-go distance, but Indian Valley's defense stood up, and on a 4th and 28 play, Lane Ratliff can't escape. He's sacked, turning the ball over on downs. Riker Williams back to work, and he gets it out to Carson Hostler, who takes off running. The Panthers finally catch up to him, but they won't catch Kinsey on the next play. Takes the direct snap and bursts to the end zone. 14-0 Indian Valley. And let's go to the final drive of the half. Braves with the ball, 3rd and long. Panthers need a stop, but they can't get a tackle on Kinsey as he breaks it out near the 50. They didn't score on late in the half, and they went into the break up 14-0. First play of the second, and Kinsey looking to open the game up, breaks a few tackles and gets into the open field. That big gain got the drive started, and a few plays later, Riker Williams will finish it on the QB keeper, runs left, and he scores to put the Braves up ahead 21-0 early in the third. Indian Valley, they just kept rolling from there, advanced to a second straight Final Four, knocking out New Lex again, 34-0. Another really tough loss for this team. But Indian Valley, you can see they're a tough team to beat, and they're now tied with the longest win streak in Ohio at 28 games.
Yeah, that's impressive. And tonight, it really seemed like they won this game just playing their own style of football. Bowlby, why don't you just take us through this?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is the exact style of game that Indian Valley wants to play. They can run the ball. The weather was perfect for running the ball, and they had so many long drives. They dominated possession in this game. It was a really impressive performance for them, and on the New Lex side, really the conditions did not help Kevin Board's offense. They couldn't create explosive plays, and there were a lot of penalties that ultimately cost them this game.
And how about Grady Kinsey? He really delivered another great performance.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is as good as it gets in Ohio high school football. He was patient tonight. He's elusive. He is so hard to tackle, and you see the stats. 182 yards, 3 touchdowns. He also had a pair of really big receptions. That first one came on the opening drive, and that really set the tone for the game. Impressive stuff from Grady Kinsey, and he's going to be looking for another state title with the team next week.
Yeah, so another loss to the Braves for New Lex, but there's a lot to be proud of this season for the Panthers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this team is just the 3rd in school history to make it to the regional final. First ever to record back-to-back seasons of double-digit wins. I mean, as I just said, they had the back-to-back wins. They got the #1 seed for the first time in a really long time. And there's a lot of positives for what's going to be back next year. Lane Ratliff, the quarterback, another year in Kevin Board's system. A lot of the offense returns. The biggest loss is going to be Paul Stenson out of the backfield, but Colt Mathias showed flashes all season long. I would argue the biggest loss this team is going to have Harrison Ratliff. He's their signal caller defensively, phenomenal player. They're going to miss him. And, of course, this is never the way you want your season to end, but this group has accomplished amazing things over the last 2 seasons. It's been so fun to watch.
Yeah, it really has. Thanks for the good work, boy. Well, over in the MVL Big, the conference champs stayed the same for a 3rd year in a row, and Sam Nolan has the recap.
The headliner of the MVL Big this season were none other than the Tri-Valley Scotties. They were able to post a 6-0 conference record while averaging 44 points in those 6 games. In back-to-back seasons, these top 2 spots remain the same. Sheridan, despite starting 0-2, comes in at the number 2 spot. Their only conference loss came against Tri-Valley in Week 9. Morgan finds themselves at the 3 spot, finishing 3-2 in conference play, thanks to one of the more exciting rushing attacks in the area. Morgan's season came to a close in the loss to Wheelersburg in Week 12. The Philo Electrics come in next with a 3-3 conference record. A loss to Morgan in Week 10 prevented the third-place finish, but Philo was still able to finish above 500 for the first time since 2021. To round things out, John Glenn showed some promise, starting off 3-1, but unfortunately finished 4-6 overall. As for Riverview, their season ended without a win.
So now we're going to go ahead and pivot to another conference that's featured great games all year round and included one of our undefeated teams. That would be the SVC, and Zachary Knight is here to recap how things went down this season.
Yeah, Unioto's undefeated regular season gave them their third conference crown. Westfall saw some big improvements, and we saw a three-way tie for third in the conference. Great year for the SVC all around.
The Unioto Shermans rounded out a historic season last week against New Lexington. That was their first regional semifinal appearance in school history, coming off their third consecutive conference title, first undefeated season, and a playoff win over Columbus East. Up next is Zane Trace, who fell to Columbus Academy in Week 12, but were able to rack up 8 regular season wins. They utilized a strong run game led by junior Bryce Johnson, who averaged over 130 yards per game. Westfall came third in the SVC with 6 wins, and Drew Pastor ranked them as the 5th most improved team in the state. Huntington and Piketon are also tied with Westfall for that third-place spot, with each team notching a 6-4 record overall. Adino followed them up with 3 wins, and Paint Valley struggled this year, only getting 1 win and landing in 7th. Led by new head coach John Penwell, the Bearcats only had 25 players after losing a large senior class last season. Southeastern then rounds out the SVC with a 2-8 record and can look to improve next year.
Now, the OVC kept us on our toes this year, giving us a season full of upsets and surprises all across the board. Lucy Schaefer knows it better than I do, and she joins us now with one all win down.
Yeah, Donovan, although it was a bit of a down year for the OVC, the conference race was still exciting all season. A new OVC champ was crowned, and a title that wasn't decided until Week 9. Now, many more stories came out of the OVC this year, so let's run through those standings one last time. In at number 1, Cole Grove won an OVC championship for the first time since 2017, going 8-3 overall and 6-0 in conference. Seniors Caden Murphy and Caden Turner led the Hornets with over 2,500 combined yards. Portsmouth made second in the conference after starting 0-2 in OVC play. The Trojans scored just 9.8 points per game in their first 5 games and improved to 33 points per game in their last 7. Rock Hill, Fairland, and Gallia Academy tie for third. Second-year head coach Tony Love led Rock Hill to a winning record for the second year in a row, while the Dragons went through a rebuilding year after losing senior leadership. Sophomore quarterback Owen Burcham will return for Fairland next season. And Gallia Academy landed at 4-6 after a 1-9 season in 2024. Blue Devil alumni Dalton Gerald took over as head coach and improved the team's overall points per game by nearly 10. Finally, South Point and Chesapeake tie for 7th in the conference. The Pointers got their sole OVC win against Chesapeake, while the Panthers won against Rock Hill in Week 9, who sat at number 1 at the time.
In just a moment, we're going to check in with Bryce McLaughlin, our final candidate for Player of the Year. Bryce is our only defender on the list, and Charlie Ehlenfeld joins us with more on the Minford linebacker.
Yeah, for good reason, Donovan. He put the region on notice with his play this year. Thank you so much for joining us here today, Bryce. And, you know, your dad told me something crazy. You're a great football player, but you're an even better boxer. You know, how does that get you ready for football?
I mean, it helps with my footwork and a lot of my discipline when it comes down to football. So I would definitely say it keeps me on my toes until football is ready.
Yeah, and you're such an excellent linebacker. Is there anybody at the next level that you model your game after?
I would say Luke Keatley. He's my favorite.
Yeah, and you know, there's something crazy about this year. I mean, you broke the single game tackle record for Minford this year with 30 tackles in a game. I mean, did it feel any different while it was happening?
I was definitely exhausted out of the game, or after the game. But after the game, I felt good because I knew I broke it.
Yeah, and you know, the attitude and the ability that you bring every game is impressive. You know, despite your team not having a lot of success, you know, how do you week in and week out still stay motivated?
I just know my team depends on me. When they think about Minford's defense, they think about me. So, I mean, it's really just for them, and I know I can play my game, so I just go out and do it for them.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Bryce. Thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you.
Congrats to Bryce. And Bryce is just one of the many defenders laying it in on ball carriers and offenses this season. We've actually got a whole list of guys that made their presence known as ball hawks, run stoppers, and everything in between. Here's your all-GG defensive team.
Leading the way on defense is Cade Leist, a 6-foot junior defensive end from undefeated SOC 1 champs Eastern. An anchor of the Eagles' D-line, Leist was the Division 7 Southeast District Defensive Player of the Year, with 3 sacks, 30 solo tackles, and 12 tackles for loss in the regular season.
Caleb Layton from Nelsonville, York. The 6'3 senior was named Defensive Player of the Year in the TVC Ohio and led the Buckeyes to a 10-0 record. With 126 total tackles and 52 tackles for loss, he got named First Team All-District in Division 5. He also led the TVC with 18 sacks.
Continuing with our D linemen, next up is Bloom Carroll senior Lincoln Miller. He finished the year with 10 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 12 TFLs, and 64 total tackles. He was also named to the First Team Central District.
Creed Hill represents the Sheridan Generals on the All-GG First Team. Hill was the Division III Defensive Player of the Year, tallying 41 tackles and 4 sacks. The defensive lineman was a key piece to the Sheridan defense, halting opposing offenses with 4 TFLs over his senior year.
Alongside Blake Brower at the defensive lineman position is Eastern Eagles senior Mason Shepard. Shepard was selected as the Division VI Defensive Player of the Year for the Southeast District, with 14 sacks, 28 tackles for a loss, and 4 forced fumbles on the season.
Staying in the trenches, we've got junior Blake Brower from Zane Trace. He's 6 feet tall, 205 pounds, and he's been the anchor for the Pioneer defense. This year, he picked up 81 total tackles, 8 sacks, and 14 TFLs. All this work got him recognized as the SVC D Lineman of the Year, with another year to keep improving.
Next is senior captain Caden Turner, who was an important asset to the Dawson Bryant defense this season. He made a big contribution to their total 517 tackles on the season, with 46 himself, helping to achieve their 8-3 record. Not only was he impressive on defense, he was a threat on offense with 8 rushing touchdowns as well.
Up next is Ironton senior Mason Wheeler. Mason had 20 solo tackles on the year, while assisting in another 20. He had 3 sacks on the season and 1 touchdown. Mason earned First Team All-District honors for Division 5 Southeast District.
Starting off our linebacker core is Bryce McGoughlin. McGoughlin was able to put up video game stats in his junior season, totaling 162 total tackles and 4 sacks. He ranks 3rd in the state of Ohio in tackles and top 50th nationally. He also had 30 tackles in 1 game, indicating his importance on this defense.
Next up, we have Bloom Carroll linebacker Aiden Scholes. The senior was named to the MSL Buckeye and Central District First Teams after registering 124 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, and a pick 6 for the Bulldogs this year. Scholes also contributed to the Bulldogs offense, scoring 4 rushing touchdowns for the MSL Buckeye champions.
The last first-team linebacker is Harrison Ratliff of New Lexington. The senior recorded 76 total tackles in the regular season. This helped him win the Division IV All-Southeast District Defensive Player of the Year award. He was a big part of New Lex going 9-1 and winning their 2nd straight MVL SMAC title this year.
Up next is senior linebacker David Long from Unioto, who was one of the main reasons for the Sherman success, helping them go undefeated in the regular season, leading the team with 85 total tackles. He was also named to the SBC All-League team and was nominated as the conference's Defensive Back of the Year.
Coming up next is Rock Hills linebacker Aaron Workman, and he puts the work in Workman. With 115 tackles, 13 tackles for loss, and 6 sacks, he has been named to the D6 Southeast First Team All-Defense. He is a nightmare for rushing attacks everywhere.
Following Workman is Chillicothe's Truett McGlone. McGlone spearheaded the Cavaliers' defense with 128 total tackles, 4 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. His efforts were good enough to earn a spot on the All-FAC First Team and the Division III District First Team.
Junior defensive back Weston Wheatley from the Athens Bulldogs is next up on the list. Wheatley is ranked number 1 in Ohio with 9 interceptions and 38th nationally. He had a total of 24 tackles this season, with 12 of them being solos.
Next is Fort Fry senior Tice Beardsley. He's a lockdown cornerback having 6 interceptions and 20 solo tackles. Tice was awarded First Team All-District honors for Division 6. He finished his high school career with 21 total touchdowns, 3 TSL titles, 72 tackles.
Our next player on the All-GG list is senior defensive back from Tri-Valley, Ryan LaMonica. Ryan LaMonica has earned First Team All-Ohio, First Team District, First Team MVL, and MVL Defensive Back of the Year. He's also tied for the most interceptions in the state. Ryan has been a great addition to the Scotties defense.
Now let's head over to Wheelersburg for the 6'1", 175 senior defensive back, Kenyon Evans.
This year, he had 15 tackles and 1 tackle for loss. Through the air, he had 3 interceptions and 4 pass breakups. On the offensive side, he was named to the All-District team as a wide receiver.
Our fourth DB is Morgan's hated Binkies. When Binkies returned Week 7, Binkies had 2 red zone interceptions, 15 tackles, 1 sack, and 2 TFLs. He was named to the All-East District second team, and he helped lead Morgan to their first playoff win in school history.
Up next is Millersport Jr. Jason Wells. His impact was felt everywhere on the field, but especially on defense. He had 71 tackles, 3 interceptions, and 2 forced fumbles, including this legendary one-handed interception.
Next up is Ethan Edwards. This senior out of Eastern was a key asset to this Wildcat secondary. Edwards was able to haul in 4 interceptions while also having 7 pass breakups. The defensive back also racked in 41 total tackles, cementing himself as a staple on this defense.
And rounding out the secondary, we have Jake Brown from Northwest. The senior tallied 52 solo tackles, 99 total tackles, and 3 interceptions. Along with being defensive back, he also got named All-District First Team for quarterback. He led the Mohawks to a 7-3 record, which is the best record since 2015.
Moving to the Twin State League, which may be our smallest conference with just 4 teams, but they brought us some of our best football this year. Ashley Fry followed this conference all year long, and she has the latest on how it wrapped up and what the future entails.
Yeah, Donovan, the TSL surprised a lot of people last year with an extremely tight race between the 4 teams to that conference title, but this year was entirely the opposite. Now, Fort Fry spent the season coasting through conference opponents, dominating by an average of 30 points a game. They took their second TSL title in 3 years as well, finishing the season 10-1 overall. Now, Marietta is going to fall right behind Fort Fry, taking second in the TSL, beating both Warren and Point Pleasant by a combined 23 points. Now, outside of conference play, Marietta struggled this season, ending 3-7, a shift from their 6-4 record last year. Now, Warren's going to come in third right behind Marietta with their only conference win coming from Point Pleasant. They're coming off a 2-8 regular season after a 7-3 season last year. Point Pleasant's going to round us out at the end of the conference standings after losing to all 3 conference opponents and ending the season 0-10.
Yeah, so big shifts in the TSL all year long, right? But the win column isn't the only thing that was looking a little different in 2025.
Yeah, obviously, the TSL is no stranger to any form of change. I mean, we saw at the beginning of the year, we saw 3 new head coaches enter the TSL, and now they face some shifts yet again as Point Pleasant officially left the TSL after the fall sports season, leaving the future of the conference unknown. But I spoke with TSL Commissioner Jim Hamrick about the future of the conference as a whole, and he said the 3 remaining teams are not giving up hope, stating that a few teams have shown interest in leaving their conferences and joining the TSL, but none have made that final decision yet. Hamrick also said the 3 teams are looking for other options as of right now, but overall, what the TSL will look like come next football season is still widely unknown. But no matter what the future holds, the TSL will surely continue to surprise us for at least the rest of this year.
Yeah, you know it will, and I guess we'll wait and see what happens. Thanks for the update, Ashley. Well, we've got another conference to recap, and the next one up is the MSL Buckeye. It was a fight that went down to the wire, and Evan Johnson breaks it down for us.
This season, 2 teams shared the MSL Buckeye title. Bloom Carroll claimed a share for the 8th straight season. The Bulldogs finished 8-4. After beating Linden McKinley, they were eliminated by Licking Valley. Hamilton Township also claimed a share. The Rangers went 9-3 and claimed their 7th MSL title in program history. In the playoffs, they beat Independence, then fell to Tri-Valley. Fairfield Union was 3rd in the conference. The Falcons finished 7-5. They won their first playoff game since 2001 with a victory over Heath, then was knocked out by New Lexington. Circleville and Amanda Clear Creek tied for 4th. Circleville earned 8 wins for the first time since 2013. They earned their first home playoff game in school history, and they beat Philo in that game, then lost to Indian Valley. Amanda Clear Creek went 5-6. The Aces won 3 of their final 4 games to secure a playoff berth before losing to Portsmouth. Logan Elm and Liberty Union round out the MSL Buckeye. The Braves finished 2-8, and the Lions ended the season 3-7 and have gone back-to-back seasons without a conference win.
So you got the MSL Buckeye. Now it's time to check in the MSL Cardinal. The top spot stayed the same, but we saw a mix-up in the standings below. Reporter Jake Collins is here to tell you all that went down in the Cardinal this year.
I mean, Donovan, we've seen plenty of great conference battles, but this one I enjoyed very much because we had numerous contenders duking it out, but it was still the reigning champ who came out on top. Here is the MSL Cardinal recap.
Keeping their spot on the throne, Grove City Christian's dominant offense led the Eagles to an 8-3 record and their second consecutive undefeated conference crown, extending their conference win streak to 16 games. In second, Fisher Catholic put together a strong 8-3 season that saw the Irish win 5 of 6 conference games and their first winning season since 2019. Returning to third is Bishop Rosecrans. A strong 4-2 conference record helped the Bishops make it to their 5th playoff appearance in year 6 of the Chris Zemba era. Fourth place, Fairfield Christian finished 5-5 in 2025 and won half of their conference games, improving from 2024's 3-8 record. In fifth, Bern Union's 4-1 start was the best in 3 years, but the Rockets ran out of fuel, finishing 4-6 and missing the playoffs. After the historic 2024 season, Miller ended their season at 4-5 with only 1 conference win, finishing in 6th for the standings. In 7th, Millersport once again finishes the season at 2-8, but the Lakers are still searching for their first conference win since 2017.
Well, week after week, we saw the biggest hits, the best catches, and the nastiest jukes from all around Southeast Ohio. It's time we show you some of our favorites, so here are your top plays of the year. We're going to have a little defense to kick our list off. Number 5 comes from Week 5, Millersport versus Bern Union. Jason Wells does his best impression of the Jordan logo. Here he is as he goes and snags a one-handed interception, and it only gets better. He takes the return down the sideline for some good field position before he's brought down in opponent territory. Yeah, that was just way too smooth. Number 4 comes from the human highlight reel. That is Brayson Hill. On the first play of the game, the Crooksville quarterback puts the entire Meadowbrook defense on skates. I mean, they are flying left and right, and then it's a race to the end zone that Hill is almost always going to win. That set the tone in their big Week 4 dub. Number 3 is relatively new. Y'all saw this one on the show last week. Ratliff to Spicer. Spicer through the air to Eli Dixon, who goes up and comes down with the snag over the defender. Classic 4th and 19 for New Legs. Number 2 comes by way of Brayson Hill again. He scrambles, finds nothing, and has to use his legs, and use his legs he did. Watch him go up over the defender to keep the play alive. Sure, you can't hurdle in high school, but that's still pretty cool. And our top play of the year goes to Logan Hupp. Watch him take the reverse, head to the sideline, full steam ahead, and when all else fails, take flight. Head first over the defender, across the pylon to tie the game up for the Generals. That, my friends, is the definition of some red rage. Well, after 14 weeks of Friday nights that defined this football season, the wait is finally over. From 12 candidates down to 5, now down to 1. It's time we reveal who our Player of the Year winner is. Thank you, Katie. The Gridiron Glory Season 26 Player of the Year is Eric Manley Jr. We now welcome in our Season 26 winner, Eric Manley Jr. Eric, congratulations. How does it feel to be our winner this year?
It feels amazing. I can't believe it.
And, how does it feel to do this you're the first winner ever from Eastern High School, to do this for your city, for your school? How does that feel for you?
It feels great. This is the first year you guys have ever covered us, and to be nominated is great in general, but not only be nominated, but win. That's next level.
All right, Eric, here is your trophy. Congratulations. Give me some. Best of luck for you moving forward. And congratulations to all of our Player of the Year candidates tonight, all of our finalists. But before we wrap this up, this whole thing, I want to take a minute to thank our friends upstairs. They're the ones who really make this show happen. So up there, you got to look there. There's Audrey, our director. She's been doing this for 3 years now. There's my boy John Tyler. Then there's Parker, our producer. He's the man that steers the ship and makes sure we put on a show each Friday night. Without them and all the other people behind the camera, Gridiron Glory just wouldn't be possible. So thank you guys. And finally, I want to thank you all at home. You guys have made this show an unforgettable experience for the past 26 seasons and will continue to do so in the future. This may be our last episode of the year, but there is still more football to be played, so make sure you check out our socials for content from Berg's state semifinals game next week. So for one last time, I'm Donovan Varney reminding you that there is just nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
Support comes from the O'Neill Hartman Insurance Agency, a local Erie insurance agent serving southeastern Ohio, providing professional service to individuals and businesses. Information at o'neillhartman.com. Additional support from Donato's Pizza, featuring pizza, subs, salads, and catering from their Athens location at 688 East State Street. Information at donatospizza.com or 740-592-5049. Support comes from Ohio's 529 College Advantage, helping families save tax-free for college and career training nationwide for 35 years. Information on Ohio's 529 can be found at collegeadvantage.com/bobcats. Support comes from Dean Heating and Cooling, keeping homes cool all summer with Tempstar. Dean Heating and Cooling provides HVAC service and installation in the Athens area, featuring Tempstar quality you can feel.
Major funding for the American Revolution was provided by the Better Angels Society and its members Jeannie and Jonathan Levine with the Crimson Lion Foundation and the Blavatnik Family Foundation. Major funding was also provided by David M. Rubenstein, the Robert D. and Patricia E. Kern Family Foundation, the Lilly Endowment, and by Better Angels Society